Maybe we can use the space station to even manufacture crystals like gallium arsenide much more pure, so that we can develop the computers that we need today that are 100 times faster and 100 times smaller than the computers that we're now using. That's just one example. And I'm not an anti-machine person. I think human beings should be integrated with the machineries that are just extensions of their fingertips and their minds in everything they do in space. There are times when a machine can do a lot better job. A computer can add a heck of a lot faster than I'll ever be able to add. And it does an awful lot of information display and selective display. But having that human being integrated into that machinery so that the machine is working for you instead of you working for it is a key element of our process. Our number one bullet at the National Aeronautics and Space Administration is to expand human knowledge of the atmosphere, of space, and of the Earth. I've always felt that we're in a war. The whole human race is, and whether we know it or not. And I always call it, we have a war on poverty, a war on crime, a war on drugs. But the war that we really must solve if we're going to be successful in the next century is a war that nobody knows we're in, and that's a war on ignorance. If we solve that war, we can whoop all the other things in the process. That's what space exploration is all about, expanding our knowledge of what's going on around us. And boy, it's in its infancy. And I think it's important to do it now because I don't know how much time we've got, the human race does. We need to get smarter, and we need to learn better how to control our destinies. And I think space exploration is a key.
The last footprints made on the moon were made 20 years ago in 1972, and some of those were yours. Does it disappoint you that it's been that long?
I'm really surprised. I thought when we left the moon that we'd have a base up there in a couple of years, but we didn't do it. I think it's time for us to look at going back to the moon now. There's a lot of things that we can learn about the planets that we don't know with human beings. Sure, we have a lot of problems here on Earth, and sure, they need to be solved, but they're not going to be solved by not expanding our knowledge. And that's what space exploration is all about. Expanding human knowledge is just fundamentally critical for people right now. We're at the stage in human civilization where if we don't use our brains, we're probably not going to make it. We're not going to be able to make it with our muscles anymore. We're going to have to think about these things. We're going to have to go out there, find new knowledge, look at that new knowledge, and apply it to solving the problems of tomorrow, which will be, just because of population growth alone on Earth, will be just more and more of those problems that we have to solve. I mean, we're all worried right now about things like veterans benefits and health and human services, and we sure ought to be worried about those things. But because of population increases in the future, those things will get worse instead of better unless we make real advances in science and technology.
The same team of Apollo engineers, the same team of engineers that took us to the moon is the same team that conceived of and designed and built the shuttle.
Pretty much.
And, with regard to both the Apollo effort and this new shuttle effort, tell us a little bit about some of the challenges involved in designing and building a spacecraft and a program for which many of the necessary technologies had not even been developed yet.
The shuttle was a remarkable accomplishment as I look back on it. Nobody had any idea where we could build a launch vehicle that would fly out of orbit at these phenomenal temperatures, some of which are about 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and be okay. But I can guarantee you that works. Because of population increases in the future, those things will get worse instead of better unless we make real advances in science and technology.
Nunca se ve bailando en la pista sola. Llega a montarla con sus amigas gastando el dólar.